Welcome back everyone. In this video we will build our own image generation website with Django. Let us look at what we are going to build. This is what we are going to build. Very simple UI design. This is just a placeholder image. We will soon replace it with our own image. So let's just say we want a picture of the moon and the earth, or picture of the earth from the moon. So picture of the earth from the moon. Okay, when I click on generate image, it may take some time, but you see here that we have a picture of the earth from the moon. I don't know whether the AI was a little confused, because I actually don't know whether this is the moon, the bigger one, or this one is the small one will obviously be the moon. And yes, so we can also say, you can give it anything. So the picture of Saturn and its moons. Okay, that one too brings me a picture of Saturn and its moons. Forgive me, I'm just a fan of astronomy, that is why. So this is what you're going to build. Very simple, but beginner friendly. Also, you know how I do things here in the channel. I'll try to explain every step of the way. Not just try, but I'll actually explain every step of the way, every line of code, what it is doing. So if you're excited about it just as I am, just jump into the next section where we start building this from the complete scratch. I am in the directory where I want to create the project. So what I'll do is to right click and open in terminal. If you are on Windows and that option is not available for you, you can just type cmd in here to open the command prompt in that directory. But I want to use the this terminal rather. I have a virtual environment. If I show you this, VIRT is the virtual environment. And this tutorial is not about creating virtual environments and all that, but if you are not so much familiar with those stuff, you can check the channel. There's a video where 1 hour comprehensive Django crash course where I explain all things that deals with how to start a Django project, which includes a virtual environment creation and all that. So I'll activate my virtual environment. You can see that it's actually activated, and then I will go Django -admin and then start project. Let us call it maybe Django image generator. Okay, you can think of a better name. And then when we list, you can actually see that Django image generator is part of the things there. So we can cd into that, and then what we want to do is to open Visual Studio Code in that directory. So code dots. But before then, let's create one app. So Python manage.py start app. Let's call it base. Just one app that we use. And then let's now open Visual Studio Code in that directory. Visual Studio Code will be the editor of choice. You can use any other editor as long as you know your way around it. Let me maximize this, and then you can see that those are the stuff we just did. So inside settings.py, first things first is to register our app here. You can say base.apps.base config. Yep, that should do. And inside the urls.py file to just have to import include here, and then you can see every path that goes to the default for the home page, just include base.urls, and we have to now create this base.urls file. Inside base, you can see there's no urls.py file, so urls.py. Inside of which you say from Django.urls, we want to import path, and then from dot you also have to want to import views, and then we declare our URL patterns. The one first and only path is the one that goes to the home page, which will link to views.home. Not created, we'll create it very soon. The name of this URL, which we'll never use probably anywhere, we never use anywhere, but it's just best practice to do that. So we can just say home. Okay. And now let's come to our views.py file and then create the home view. So home, passing request as always, and then we can just return, render. We want to render the template we are rendering is will be called index.html. But we first have to pass in request here. So request, okay, and then index.html. So let me bring in the HTML files. So here you can see I've brought them here. This front end has already been built in a previous video I've already uploaded onto the channel. We go live, you just see that that's the front end. The link to the building of this is in the description, so you can check it out and get it how to build it. But what we want to do now is inside base create template, and then drag this HTML template into it. Yes, move it. And inside the same base, another folder called static. And let's drag this images folder which contains the background and then the style.css into it. Now we are good to go. And we now have to come to this HTML file and load static. Well, if you don't load it, when we run our server, so python manage.py run server, shouldn't throw an error apart from this migration, so we will not be using database, so we will not have any problem. You can see that it's actually the raw HTML, so we have to apply the styles here. After we load static, we have to link it properly. So static, and then the name of the static file, which is style.css. When we save it, hot reload, and then everything comes back to life. But we have to fix the part for the image also, which is also a static file. So that one is under generate image. Another static, and then the path to whatever the static file is. And everything now is working correctly. Okay, so let us get into it. You don't need all of this, only need the views for now. Let me close them out. In fact, let me collapse it here. Okay. We'll be using OpenAI API for this. So if you don't have it installed, I think I do because of previous videos, but let me just check my packages and see. Okay, I do have OpenAI here. So if you don't have it, it's just pip install OpenAI. Like this should do for you. So I'll go back and run my server. And when you come to their website on platform.openai.com, you can have access to the documentation. You see there's the GPT, the applications that we can build, or probably with the API. So this is what you'll be interested in today, the image generation. If you click on it, you can see a whole detailed guide on how to use the API, but we'll come back to this very, very soon. What we need to do now is to click on personal here, view API keys, and then you can create a new one. You can see that I already created one that I will use for the demo app. I'll use the same thing for the finished one, or for this one that we are doing. But what you want to do is to create a new key, give it a name, and then create secret key. Another modal will pop up with a key there. Just have to copy it and paste it in your editor or anywhere safe, in your environment variables or anywhere safe. We will use that one later. But let's keep this site open. We'll come back to it very soon. And so apart from the render, we want to also import OpenAI. And then we need another function up here before the home one, which is just a regular function. So we can say get underscore image underscore URL. This one is not a Django function, so we don't have to pass in request, but we get the prompt here. And then the key should be OpenAI key. Let me make it that for now. And then we now have to also link and say OpenAI dot API key, not API base, API key equal to key. That's great. And you can see from the website is here. Just this. So if you want to generate an image for Python, that is how it is. For Node.js and other ones are here. So I can just click on this copy here and then paste it. This response prompt is the prompt that we give to the AI. So this is not what should be here. We also have to pass in our own prompt at the top. The n is the number of images to be generated, and this size is the size of the image. There is 256, I think there's 512, and then there is 1024. But I think the 512 is what I'll go for in this video. You can choose any of the size that you want. And for now, why the response is like that, we'll get to know very soon. So let's just print, because I want you to know why they make the response, they access the URL like that. So response to be equal to the response. Okay, so let me get a key and paste it quickly, and then we see how it works. Okay, so that is my OpenAI API key. I really encourage you not to use it, because after this video I will disable it. So try and get your own key, and then let's see how it goes. But because we want to use this in another place, we just have to return the image URL. Okay, so this home page is the home page, because if the person now visits the website, there will not be any submission of the form. This is a form. There will not be any submission of the form. So we only have to say that if request dot method is post. So if it's a post request, then we do the OpenAI stuff. So we can say that the prompt should be equal to request dot post dot get, and they want to get what is called a prompt. And we can get it by prompt because when you come to the text area, that's the name. Django gets by the name of the field, the elements with the prompt. And then here we can say that image URL should be equal to get image URL, and then we pass in this our prompt. Fantastic. After that, maybe there should be an error somewhere during the generation, so let's just catch that one. So if image URL, then we need this one again. I want to return render this, but this time around we will pass a context dictionary, which we want to say image URL, also pointing again to image URL. Else, we need this one again, so else is the same thing, but we can say that this time around the image URL should be an error occurred. Please try again, so that we don't have to declare multiple variables there. Just this one, then we want to use it. I think now we should work out. Everything should be very, very fine now. So let's come into save this one, and then back inside our index.html at the place where you see the generated image. Instead of linking it to static, let's get, when the website load at first, we want to load this, but when the user submits a prompt, we want to now change it to the generated image from the AI. So we can simply go by if image underscore URL, then we want to we need this one, so let's copy it, or let's just even complete it. So you can say else, and then we paste it in. Let's not forget to end if. So if image.url, then we don't want to render this, but rather render the image underscore URL. And for the download, also the href that is there, we want to also render the image underscore URL again. And let's not forget the form is a post form, so we have to pass in our CSRF token. Other than that, Django will throw the CSRF error. So CSRF underscore token. Okay. I think that should be all we have to do in this file. Let's get back to, and then just make sure that everything is working correctly. And let's try it with a picture of an astronaut. Generate image. Okay, our astronaut is in. When you click on download image, the response from the API, I think it should be available in our suite. It's available here. So that is the URL that comes from, or the whole response that comes from the API. That is why we access the data and then the URL from the data in the views.py file like this. The data, and then the first element, which to the data itself is a list, and then the first element, the data list, the first element is the URL. It's a dictionary also actually, and then you can get it by the key, which is the URL. And by default, it is made to open it up like this. That is why when we click download, it takes us to this page. But I think we have forgotten that we have to pass in the image description also here. So the image description now, we can say, can pass it in here, say description or image description. And then we can just say that it's equal to prompt. Let's come in here where it says your image description. We can just say image description, and that should be okay. So let's say a beautiful landscape. Generate image. And then we have the image of a beautiful landscape here, and the description is also here working correctly. So that, my friends, is how we build this simple yet nice image generation or AI image generator with Django. I hope you learned a lot along the way. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. It really gives me motivation to create amazing content. And consider subscribing also if you are new. The link to the source code will also be in the description below, so you can check it out if you have any problem. Thank you very much for your time, and I'll see you another time with another video. Bye for now.